Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me just outside of Jacksonville, Florida with a Volkswagen ID Buzz. It is the first video here at the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance, and I want to say a huge thank you to Volkswagen for inviting us to spend some time with their European spec Volkswagen ID4 that just magically happens to be in the US. Now, you and I have driven ID Buzz many times together. First, we drove it in Copenhagen all around, took it into Sweden. Then just recently, we went on a big road trip in Norway. We did some charge testing, range testing, did all of the nerd stuff. So there's really not much new I can tell you about the Buzz in this video, but what I do want to do is take it for a drive for the first time on our shores. This really is the perfect place to look at ID Buzz, a great spec. I'll walk you through the specification on this particular one, tell you how the US one will differ a little bit, and then of course we're going to go take it out onto the mean streets of Florida. This is, of course, the Volkswagen ID Buzz, and it's the same specification we've spent time with before. It's the short wheelbase version with the 70-ish kilowatt, 78 kilowatt hour usable battery pack, roughly, I think 82 kilowatt hour gross. And what's really neat about this is with the smaller battery in this wheelbase, we found not the most efficient car, doesn't have all the range, but the charging rocks. Surprisingly, it's got a little bit of the e-tron vibes in it, where it just sits 190 kilowatt peak, surprisingly pretty good, and it charges to full very fast. So for all those ID4s that keep full charging at charging stations, this new battery software, similar to the 2023 Chattanooga cars, rips to 100%. So I'm pretty pleased with that. The US spec version, rumored, should have a longer wheelbase and a bigger battery pack. Nothing is confirmed at the moment, but we kind of know it needs it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. So that's going to be interesting to see. Come around the front here. I just love the look of ID Buzz. It's such a happy car. I said when the ID4 launched, it was the happiest car on sale. Now it's definitely this. And of course, seeing everyone's reactions here driving around at Amelia Island, man, you can't help but see everyone just smile looking at this go down the road. In terms of a practical review, it's got the biggest Volkswagen badge on the planet. No front trunk here, but there is a radar unit, a camera unit for your driver assistance. Volkswagen Travel Assist rocks, by the way. It has a cool function that I don't think many people realize, but when you're using lane centering going down the road, you can actually lock it to the left, middle, or right side of the lane. And I use that feature all the time, both in Europe and the US, and I think that's a very underappreciated feature about this system. We'll do a full deep dive into that with an ID4 at some point soon. Coming around the side of the ID4, the key actually has automatic door opening buttons, but I left it on, so it's not going to work at the moment. So give me 1 second. We'll turn it off. Wanted to have the headlights on so it looked better for you. And now I can show you inside of the ID Buzz. This spec in sort of this yellowish color on the outside with the matching interior, I think looks great. Forgive some of our stuff back here. Just a very quick shoot today. But again, this is the standard shorter wheelbase that's not necessarily coming. Of course, there's a bunch of ID Buzz little Easter eggs all over the place. You have the tray tables in the back that flip up, and there's a little latch right there. Not the most sturdy, but you got your phone holders in the back. Guys, I've reviewed this car. I've shown you every little nook and cranny about it all around, so I really want to focus on the driving portion. But come around, take a look at the back. I believe the largest swinging tailgate that's electric on the market. Maybe that was it. Magna innovation, by the way. So that's pretty cool. They do this giant, the biggest tailgate, which is pretty neat. I know some of our users will like this stuff. This one has, check this out, the Euro trailer hitch right there. So that's pretty sick. And then all you do is you can release it by pulling here, and then you kind of kick it back under the bumper, and there you go. We won't have that in the US, but I love those little Euro spec features. If you take a look on this side over here, Euro charge port Type 2 on the top and CCS on the bottom. Really nice design there. So I don't know how they're charging it here. I guess some kind of adapter or something like that. Of course, we got the M plate on the back because this one I think will eventually have to make its way back to Europe. But there you go. I mean, we know the ID Buzz. We've done it plenty with it. Let's go drive it around the US streets and just see what it's like here. To me, it is the perfect beach vibe. And yeah, doesn't really get any better than this. Let's go take it for a drive. Well, you join me in the Buzz now. This is the rear wheel drive version, about 150 kilowatt output. So what's that, 201, 202 horsepower, somewhere around there. You guys are familiar with all that stuff. We're going to put it in B mode. It is a Buzz, so we're going to drive it in comfort. We got the actual color scheme here to match with the yellow vibe of the vehicle. Let's actually take a look. This should be on software 3.1, maybe 3.2. Let's take a look. We go to ID software, and then maybe it doesn't want to show us. No, there we go, 3.1. But I believe when we drove them in Copenhagen, they were on 3.2, which does just some minor little things. I think plug-in charge activation with Ionity and some other stuff. So amazing turning radius here, of course, but we're just cruising around. Let's go for a drive. And you know my opinions on how the ID Buzz drives. It's just like a big ID4. It's very solid, very competent, and it's one of those vehicles that you just have this incredible viewpoint out the front, something that's really unique to this car. There's, I like vehicles for, I would say, experiences rather than just getting from A to B. I always say a car should get you from A to B with a smile on your face. And even just sitting here with this viewpoint, you're like, wow, this is so special. It's so cool that you can't help but get to your destination just with an absolute grin, and everyone around you having an absolute blast as well, at least while they're new on the roads. Now, we don't know pricing for the US market. We don't know exact specs. I think we do know they will come in dual color tone, which is going to be great. I really think these look great in two-tone. However, the one that we had in Oslo just a few weeks ago, that full silver on, I think, 21-inch wheels, the big wheels, that thing looked pretty stealthy. And there was also a fully blacked out one that I liked as well. So I think people are going to get really creative with modding these out, putting surfboards on them, using them for work as well. I don't believe we're going to get the cargo version in the US, but I've driven the cargo version, made a whole review of that. There's a video on this channel previously on the cargo. And yeah, the cargo is really freaking cool, but doesn't really work that great for our market since it's designed for Euro pallets rather than US sized ones. Still a pretty cool vehicle to cruise around in. And of course, it's kind of funny because it's a Euro spec ID Buzz in the US. The nav just has no idea where we are. It's just like we are driving around in space, basically. It's so cool. So Anna, you're back there. What do you think about the Buzz? Tell everyone your thoughts.
Oh, I absolutely love it. It definitely puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean, we were just in California last week, and having something like this would be awesome to go to the beach, go out to dinner, put everyone in, and it's just one of those sort of classless vehicles that I think, you could see some college kid driving for sure, or a grandma, and it just works for really any type of person. And that's always been the Volkswagen thing. It's a bit like GTIs, kind of looked right parked in front of any area. I think the Buzz is going to carry some of that around with it as well. So let's do some more driving out and about on the streets, and then we will bring it in and have to return it. But can't thank Volkswagen enough for letting us have a quick go in the US in a Buzz. How cool is this? Well, we're now out, able to get a little bit more speed in the ID Buzz, and wow, the efficiency is actually looking really good here. If I just go and take a look, we are getting 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That's over the last 3 hours of driving, and that's journalists doing hard driving, I'm sure, driving it more aggressively than you would think. And what's interesting, of course, is because this is such a big vehicle, when we did our highway range testing in Norway, we noticed, pretty bad efficiency because it's just a giant brick, and that's as expected. We knew it was going to be worse efficiency than even an ID4 or ID5. But here it's predicting about 162 miles at 68% state of charge, which is pretty impressive. Really nice 992 GT3 Touring on the left there, if you take a look. Had satin Orem wheels, looked nice. And, oh, here's Scott Road. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Will. Hold on tight. You can always scream at me if I'm missing a turn. This is a typical out-of-spec situation to miss turns here. But, yeah, the efficiency is great. I mean, the weather's perfect. It's 84 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's low speed, cruising around Amelia Island, and you just can go pretty much all day. So in my eyes, what that means is actually if you were going to use this for a commercial purpose, let's just say, or you're doing a school run around town, the range is going to be a lot better, I think, than we initially found, which is going to be very interesting. So yeah, I guess just a quick video to show you that, hey, there's a couple ID buzzes in the US. There's one here. And yeah, so cool of Volkswagen to invite us to drive this for a little bit and experience it on our own roads. It's definitely feels like the right size. I think the standard wheelbase would actually do pretty well in our market. I don't think we necessarily need the long one, but hey, in America we got the space. We may as well get the bigger one. Can't wait to see all the camper conversions, all the modifications, and really the new enthusiast base that I think this is going to sort of brew up from the ground. I think we're going to see a lot of electric adventurers doing van life in their ID buzzes, even though, you know, it's a lot smaller than an e-Transit or an e-Sprinter or something like that. This definitely has got the right vibe. So there you go. ID Buzz is in the US and I'm driving it. Thanks so much to Volkswagen again, and thanks to you guys for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. See you in another one soon. Bye-bye.